This is a bird's eye view of the most important non-sporting venue in New Zealand. It's the place where the really big game, the political game, is played. But despite its importance, many New Zealanders don't understand the finer points of the complex rules of play. Some don't even know where the main match takes place. If you think that it's here in the Beehive, you're wrong. Despite the fact that this uniquely ugly or lovely building, depending on your taste, symbolises our parliament, the main action actually happens next door. It is in here, in the debating chamber, that the competing teams clash. There are rules.
Mr. Speaker!
And there's a referee.
Order! Order!
The players are skilled and the stakes are high. You, the voters, get to pick the teams every 3 years when we have a general election. Then it's over to them, the politicians, the professional players in this game.
Speaker, this question to the Prime Minister. How does he stand by all his statements?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
On foot.
Who wins in this big boxing ring decides some really important things, like how much tax you have to pay, how many dollars go into the minimum wage packet, how historic disputes over the rivers, the land and the fish in the sea are resolved, and even what drugs and medicines can be made available to sick people. So this game of politics can literally be a matter of life or death.
Which side is the government on? Multinational sugar barons like Coke or Kiwi kids whose health is suffering because of fizzy drinks right now?
The Honourable Dr. Jonathan
That's a really silly question. I'm not going to answer it.
We will show you the private lives of politicians and the things that make them tick.
I call it politics with a little p versus politics with a big P, which is what I do.
It's certainly one reason you become leader of the opposition is because you want the top job.
I'm more likely to get nervous at the sort of weirdest things, like sometimes where I stand up for a school assembly, for instance.
We will explore not only their official roles, but also see them up close and personal in their daily lives. We'll see them down on the farm, out in their electorates, sometimes pressing the flesh, even wearing their hearts on their sleeves as they help the needy.
Good people? Yeah.
Before the main contest can be played in Parliament, there are a couple of important away fixtures. The beginning of the political season kicks off far away from the halls of Parliament, at Ratanapa, just south of Whanganui.
Well, it's the traditional opening of the political calendar, really.
It's January the 24th, and the celebrations of the birth of the prophet Tahu Pōtiki Ratana are a magnet for politicians from all shades of the political spectrum.
It's important that as the government party and the government representatives, we come here in force, and so how many of us are coming here today? Is 15, 16 MPs accompanying the Prime Minister and Honourable Heke Parata.
And now we're going to sing.
Right, should we set up for a stand-up over here, you guys?
Once upon a time, the Ratana Church and its followers voted religiously for the New Zealand Labour Party. But the passing of time and political events changed all that, as did the influence of this wily player.
It's the only political party that ever took the seats off Labour. The whole lot was a party, and is a party called New Zealand First, just in case some of you journalists keep on forgetting it.
Now all parties have come to Ratana to woo the Māori vote, and they come en masse, with a host of political journalists hanging on their every word.
You know, this is an agreement that was negotiated for 7 years in total secrecy.
It's been a long, dry summer in New Zealand, and an even longer silly season for the media.
So there's nothing in TPP that Māori should be at all worried about.
We must have democratic institutions that are responsive and accountable to the citizens who elect them.
With Parliament in recess, there's been little to report, except the holiday road toll and the odd shark scare on one of our beaches.
So is everybody going on together?
Yes, my understanding is that it's all of us at Lewis. Lewis.
Lewis, how are you? Having a year?
Sorry,
Now the journalists are out for fresh blood and looking to the politicians to start scrapping and giving some juicy headlines.
Oh, for sure, but also we cover the very strong message that TPP is very good for Māori.
And at Ratana, you won't hear anything that's not good for Māori. All the party leaders are welcomed onto the marae and are given a say on the paipai, with Labour leader Andrew Little speaking first.
So thank you once again for having us here in the spirit of Rangamāori.
John Key takes the opportunity to kick his 2017 campaign into gear, confirming he'll still be the captain at the next election.
I look forward to being back. I've been here every year I can. It's a day of great celebration. But don't let anyone tell you this country isn't doing well. Don't let anyone tell you that the future for your young people isn't bright.
The leaders' speeches signal the recommencement of political hostilities after the long holiday break of Christmas and the New Year.
Since first coming here, the National Party has had 7 leaders. The Labour Party has had 7 leaders. The Green Party has 4 leaders, but my party has had 3. And I don't want to labour the point.
The Māori Party didn't come onto the marae with the other politicians, but instead held back. They say it was to go on humbly and as a sign of respect for the occasion and the kaupapa. But it also was a good tactic. By coming into the game late, after the other players had revealed their strategies, it enabled them to score an early political point against their rivals.
Today is not for us to postulate and get out there and see who's king of walking up the paipai. Today is about listening to the voice of our people and ensuring that our policies and their desires go hand in hand.
We'd hope that a Māori heart can connect with the things that we're trying to do on behalf of our people. You make links by personal relationships. You've got to go and talk to the people. You've got to be out there where they're at. You've got to go and talk to them in their language. It's a young language. It's a Māori language, and that's important for us.
It's a commemoration of a different kind that next draws the politicians. This time they come to the far north to recognise the significance of Aotearoa's National Day at Waitangi.
It's my extreme privilege and honour to welcome you here to this dawn service, Waitangi Day.
It's a fact of history that in 1842, not everyone was satisfied. And in this respect, nothing's changed. So the treaty process is and will be an ongoing one, and demonstrations of some kind are part and parcel of what happens on the treaty grounds and nearby.
I think it's important that people are able to protest and express their feelings.
The notable absentee from Waitangi in 2016 is the Prime Minister, John Key. He decided to sit out this round of the political game and not provide sport for the crowd of protesters.
Well, I think the Prime Minister should be welcomed onto Te Marae, because there'll be the only opportunity, Ngāpuhi will be the one and only iwi that actually gets an opportunity to throw questions and issue challenges to him.
In his place, Key's senior minister, Stephen Joyce, got the job of opening the new multi-million-dollar Treaty Museum.
Good everyone, good afternoon. It is, I've got to say, my absolute privilege to have the opportunity to speak at this opening on behalf of the Prime Minister today.
This is home turf for Labour frontbencher Kelvin Davis.
My ancestor, Whetoi Pomare, he signed the treaty, although he signed it on the 17th of Feb, not on the 6th of Feb. He had 11 days extra to read it. Considering he was illiterate, couldn't read or write, he just needed that extra time.
Kelvin's brother Patrick is a local cop, the iwi liaison officer.
A cordon for who?
Apparently, he's able to plead ignorance of the incident that achieved international notoriety when Stephen Joyce failed to dodge a thrown sex toy.
The incident with Stephen Joyce, I believe, happened on your watch.
I don't know anything about it.
They talk about the thin blue line. We always say that he's the thick blue line.
But he is officially present to welcome Kelvin's boss, the Labour leader, Andrew Little.
It's my brother Patrick.
Oh,
Andrew Little.
But of course, Waitangi Day is the national day for commemoration, and events are held right around the country. In Hawke's Bay, Māori Party co-leader Marama Fox is celebrating the Waitangi Day holiday at a kapahaka and Māori cultural event in Hastings.
One time we performed, I think, we had 4 of my sons and my husband and myself in the group, but we've got 2 sons overseas now, and one just came home and one's on holiday, so they've missed out. If your pee-pee falls off on stage, bro, it's the wrong way.
Marama is another politician who chose not to go to Waitangi. Actually, she seldom does, preferring to spend the day in her own region.
Up there at Waitangi, they have all of this drama and theatre, and it's all going on, and that's part of the occasion.
Even though the Māori Party is part of the governing coalition, Marama Fox is still critical of Key's decision to boycott Waitangi.
I think that's a little disappointing. I understand, why he made that decision, but he also made a commitment to go to Waitangi in our good times and our bad times. That's where the people come. And I think, on both sides of the disagreement, I think that could have been handled better.
We look good, we've got the best bracket. The only thing is, ke te kapu o tātou ringa, how hungry are we?
This is political time out. Time to catch up with her iwi and her whānau, including her son Jared, who is a law student at Victoria Uni.
She's had to raise 9 of us. I'm proud of that, and I'm a product of that too.
Don't tell them. This is relaxation for me. They're all like, we got to do this, and I'm like, this is so much fun. I love singing. Makes me feel good. Don't tell them that. This is serious stuff, guys. Do or die on the stage. What a job, thank you, honey.
I never see her. She's always some other place in the country doing something for somebody else. So before anyone gets any ideas about MPs, they never see their families, they never have the opportunity to have those weekends with their kids and stuff.
Is there somewhere I can plug this in that's not going to be annoying to everybody? Sorry.
Don't you have a supersized battery?
Oh, it's all dead as well. Yeah, thank you. I'll come back later. I'm always on the cell phone. My husband told me, he goes, even when you're home, you're not home. I was like, stop it. I'm responding to our people.
Yeah, they work harder than anyone. Sometimes Mum's working till 11 o'clock at night in her office, and she's back at work the next day at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sure most politicians do that.
Just 3 days later, on February the 9th, is a sense of heightened anticipation as the curtain's about to go up on the opening parliamentary session of 2016.
Parliament Security, Vanessa speaking.
But before the political game kicks off, the security teams tasked with keeping the main players safe are up and about preparing for another day and yet another demonstration outside the Parliament.
Wellington's protest is scheduled for again 12 o'clock to be held at the Cenotaph. They will have placards.
It's an important part of the New Zealand democratic process that when people feel that politicians aren't listening, they can march on Parliament to protest. There is a small army of watchful guards who screen visitors and staff arriving at the parliamentary complex. Airport security scanners and X-ray machines are kept busy as Parliament tries to remain accessible to the citizens of New Zealand.
We have got a very open Parliament. Our members of Parliament, our ministers, the Prime Minister can wander down Lambton Quay and buy a sandwich at lunchtime. I hope we can keep that, but it'll only take some silly bugger doing something that perhaps means that we need to put more security around particularly high-profile ministers, but where does it end if we start that process?
Good girl. Here.
Recent terrorist attacks overseas have left their mark, so before the politicians can get back to work, the explosives dog has the run of the debating chamber.
Come. Good girl. Not finished yet.
For this police canine sniffer, its nose to the ground and eyes looking in every nook and cranny.
Cindy, come.
This dog has to work quickly, and there's no time to waste.
Come.
As even the Speaker's Gallery, where the visitors can look down on Parliament, and the Press Gallery, where journalists sit, get the dog's attention.
Come. Well, she's about 7 years old now, so you're constantly training throughout the year just to keep her skills up and ensure that she's got her mind switched on to the job that she's supposed to be doing. There's nothing there, so we can ensure that the politicians and the members of the public in the debating chamber will be all safe for the foreseeable future.
Meanwhile, inside the complex of buildings, the players and their support staff are stirring. And in the corridors, you'll see all the various people who make this place tick. It's a little world in here, where the very powerful rub shoulders with the rather humble as they perform their different parts in the daily drama.
Someone asked if TPK was doing 90-day employment contracts. No. All right.
So we're off down to the house. It's question time. I don't have any questions today, so that's no good, but that's the way it goes. And this is the fun part of the day where you get to pass comment across the house.
The politicians are also straining at the leash. They bustle into the main foyer through a virtual rabbit warren of corridors.
Take off your gumboots, put on your armour, and remember that you take all of your people with you into the chamber.
It's all noise and action as the division bells toll relentlessly, and a rolling maul of politicians scramble into place before the Speaker settles into his chair. This is democracy at work, wrapped in the trappings of ancient customs. The beating heart of Parliament is the debating chamber, where ideas, ideals and political beliefs are presented in sometimes theatrical fashion. First to strut the stage is the Prime Minister.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Prime Minister's statement.
It's the confident speech of a man who knows he's got the numbers. Key commands 63 votes, and that's a majority in this House.
This is going to be a very, very busy year for a national-led government. We're hungry, we're energetic, we're ready to go, and unlike the opposition, we're united.
Next up on his feet is Opposition Leader Andrew Little. His no-confidence motion is a forlorn formality.
This House expressed no confidence in this national-led government because this is a government that has given up on the future, that has no plan to prepare New Zealand for the future, that is more interested in scoring political points than solving the big problems facing our country, and is letting the Kiwi dream slip away. Mr. Speaker, it is great to be back after a wonderful summer. A bit disappointing to see that the Prime Minister is less tanned and more red in the face, but that's what happens sometimes with a Christmas break where you fret about what's actually going on.
Little and his allies can only summon 58 votes, which means the motion is defeated. Then it's game on. With the usual star performers keen to show the holidays and the long break haven't blunted their wits, nor dulled the sarcasm that members regularly employ against those sitting opposite them.
Supplementary question, Right Honourable Winston.
Can I ask the Minister for Maori Development as to whether he will ensure next time that he cannot answer the question, he gets someone proficient to do the job, rather than come down here and act like a clown?
I'll invite the Minister to answer if he so wishes. The Honourable Chris Wilson.
On behalf of the Minister for Maori Development, I will, if he promises not to have late nights at the Green Parrot before formulating his questions.
Here's a face in the crowd you might not recognise.
I'm getting there. There's an awful lot to get ready and prepare.
Maureen Pugh, MP, is a rookie, the newest recruit in the government's army.
It's different from my life over the last 18 months, where I've been pretty much at home in the middle of the bush, in the middle of nowhere on the West Coast. There's an awful lot to get ready and prepare, but I've got a wee way to go. The scheduling is pretty gruelling. There's not much time between events or meetings because, you know, sometimes the meeting can start at 7:30 in the morning and your last one can start at 10 p.m. Because my day starts so early, like I'm usually up about 5:45, and I don't think I've been to bed before midnight. Today, passed another milestone, appointed an EA, an executive assistant, so that's been a process in itself, so I couldn't get that underway until I actually got here, so after a couple of weeks we've got that sorted now. Probably not going to make it today. No, I don't think that's fine. Quite honestly. Thank you. I don't see the city, except between here and the airport. So I'm kind of blessed in this office too, because I have huge windows that I get to look out over the harbour and up the main shopping street of Wellington, which is a bit of a tease.
You'll come back here at just after 6?
I will, thank you.
Becoming a Member of Parliament is quite a lifestyle change for Maureen Pugh, but she reckons her life as a coaster has been a good, even a tough apprenticeship for her new role.
I'm not scared. I'd like to tell you that these arms have mixed several tonnes of concrete in their time working with my husband. Yeah, don't be fooled by the dress and high heels.
But still, preparing for her first appearance is nerve-wracking. You only get one maiden speech, and just how confidently and fluently you deliver it is crucial to your career.
In accordance with the determination of the Business Committee, I call on Maureen Pugh to make her maiden statement.
Mr. Speaker, my thanks for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to address you for the first time, to address this House and my colleagues, and through this House, the wonderful people of New Zealand. The significance of this occasion is not lost to me, nor is the privilege of now being a part of the 51st Parliament of New Zealand.
Other members, particularly from opposition parties, will watch this performance and mentally they'll mark it.
I thank you, sir.
It'll guide them when it comes to rating Ms Pugh's effectiveness and finding any chinks in her armour.
I was pretty nervous about that in the lead up to it because I had continually changed it. I started preparing it almost a year ago and I was making changes up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the day.
To the average Kiwi, these scenes represent what politicians do. They're either barracking for their own side or slanging off the opposite side of the chamber.
Why don't you man up and do it yourself? Because you think you're so tough.
Oh, point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order,
it's impossible for you to man up. I'm a woman.
All fronting up to the media scrum for hasty interviews, which are almost drowned out by the ringing of the division bells.
There's a big story going on. If someone's in trouble, all those rules go out the window because everyone's desperate to talk to the politician who's in trouble.
But the real work of Parliament is done at a much more mundane pace. Politicians of all the main parties must meet daily when the House is sitting. They have to plan and to agree on their strategy and policies.
Okay, thank you.
So basically I go to procedures at 1:45, hear what's happening, then take this pile of books down to the Māori Affairs Select Committee room and we kick off at 9 o'clock. I got the old Kaitaia briefcase here. This was from my groceries the other day, but you got to take things in something.
So National, Labour, the Greens and New Zealand First all retire to their individual caucus meeting rooms to thrash out points of agreement or settle the differences between individual members or factional groups within the parties.
Let's start with questions, and Andrew, you're first up with question number 2.
This is where we make decisions about what's going to happen in the House today. A bit of strategy meeting. It's a daily event.
We've had some telephone bids from Graham.
And that's what politics is all about. Staying united and staying on message. In short, singing in harmony from the same hymn sheet.